Nod your head with me if you have a fear that feels bigger than you are. Flying, public speaking, spiders, needles, heights perhaps? Well, take heart. Over 12% of adults live with a specific phobia that hijacks their lives. But here's the crazy part. Most of us will actually never encounter our phobia in real life. The pilot who fears turbulence flies 30 years safely. The arachnophobe never meets a black widow. And me? I was deathly afraid of snakes while living in Georgia, no less, where you're more likely to get hit by lightning than bitten by a venomous snake. Today, I'm sharing how I turned my snake phobia from paralyzing dread into fascination, using nothing but YouTube and online content. And no, I didn't touch a single snake in the process. Picture this, fall 2025. I'm out walking at the botanical garden, and suddenly a snake appears right in front of me. My heart stops, and I am stuck in place. 2 months later, same location, same trail, another snake. Now I'm thinking, is this a sign? Am I cursed? What terrified me most wasn't the snakes themselves. It was my ignorance. Are they venomous? Will they chase me? Could one kill me? Hiking was my joy, my stress relief, and that's why I spend a lot of time at the botanical gardens. My connection to nature is what hiking is. But now, every rustle in the leaves gave me deep hesitation. I faced a choice: quit hiking or face my fears. I chose the second path, not with a therapist, not with medication, but with technology. Here's the idea worth spreading: self-directed learning. Self-directed learning can cure phobias. What is it? 5 simple steps. Any adult can do it. Diagnosis, finding the best resources, choosing a learning strategy, doing the work, and evaluating your success. This comes from Malcolm Knowles, the grandfather of adult learning. It's how you already learn to fix a car, bake, or survive office politics. It's how I learned to overcome my fear. My strategy involved these steps: learning about the snakes in Georgia, finding the resources to be able to understand their behavior, knowing where I'm likely to encounter snakes, and then, of course, knowing how to deal with an encounter with snakes. I came across the Georgia Department of Natural Resources website, from which I learned about the 70 species of snake which are prevalent in Georgia. Believe it or not, of those 70 species, only 6 are venomous. That's 8%. So only 8 in 100 chances of encounters with snake are encounters with venomous snake. Most snakes in the state of Georgia are actually harmless rat snakes that eat pests. Herping videos of people hunting snakes humanely, gave me an appreciation of how snakes interact, how they behave. Come to realize, copperheads, which are much feared, actually freeze when they're scared. They don't chase you. Knowing that a snake wants you gone as much as you want it gone, it gave me some comfort, and it gave me the appreciation of one simple rule. Keep your distance and it will keep its distance. The herping videos were not the most palatable at times though. I watched snake catchers remove cottonmouths from backyards. As I would watch them pick up these venomous snakes, my stomach would flip, but still the curiosity kept me watching. Learning about snakes, and particularly watching the herping videos, which made me comfortable looking at snakes on screen, and eventually developing a keen interest in them, is how I was able to overcome my fear of snakes. The approach that I used was one called exposure therapy, and this was applied within the context of self-directed learning. Exposure therapy is the gold standard for treating phobias. Therapists systematically expose you to what you fear in safe doses until your brain rewires. It works. Langthorne and colleagues found it's one of the most effective treatments across anxiety disorders. But here's what's fascinating. Exposure therapy and self-directed learning follow the same roadmap. Look at this. Exposure therapy starts with assessment, understanding your fear. It goes on to collaborative planning, setting goals with the therapist, which leads into gradual exposure, small steps towards the fear, which leads into repeated exposure, doing it again and again, followed by emotion regulation, managing anxiety during exposure, and then practice. Homework between sessions, which gives you the comfort to deal with the fear. And in all of that, a therapist provides continuous support. Now compare that to self-directed learning, which starts with diagnosing your needs. I need to understand snakes. That leads into setting goals. I will learn about species, their behavior, and the first aid that's required in the event of an encounter. That goes on to choosing resources to address the learning need. For me, that was YouTube herping videos, the UGA and Georgia Department of Natural Resources content about snakes within the state. Then going on to implement, watching those videos, reading that content, and internalizing to understand the real risk that snakes impose. That's followed by practice. In my case, because fall turned into winter and snakes became docile, I haven't had any encounters with snakes in the wild. So all I know is how I engage with snakes on screen, which has improved quite significantly from before I started. Finally, we get into evaluation, where we ask the question, did my fear decrease? The two processes, exposure therapy and self-directed learning, are nearly identical. Scholars like Merriam and Mesereau call this critical reflection and perspective transformation. You're not just learning facts, you're changing how you see the world. In my case, from all snakes are killers to most snakes are chill. It's been several months now since I last encountered a snake. I go hiking my old trails as usual. When I hear a rustle or see a black rat snake, instead of running, I'll probably stop, watch it slither away with a normal heart rate. What changed wasn't the snakes. I changed. I learned faster than I feared. Phobias aren't character flaws. They are outdated software. Your brain runs snake equals instant death from a childhood story or a movie. Self-directed learning updates the code. Exposure therapy teaches your nervous system a new response. And when you combine these, magic happens. But here is the twist I never saw coming. Since my last encounter, I didn't just learn about venom potency and habitat preferences. I stumbled into folklore, mythology, and spiritual significance of snakes. I got curious. Does my culture say anything about snake encounters? Turns out yes. In my tradition, a peaceful encounter with certain snakes, no aggression, just crossing paths, is believed to be a message from the ancestors, a sign you're on the right path, protection, guidance. And it's not just my culture. Across the world, snakes symbolize transformation, healing, rebirth. I would never have cared about any of this if I hadn't faced my fear. The phobia opened a door I did not know existed. That's the real power of self-directed learning applied to exposure. It doesn't just erase fear, it transforms it into something richer: curiosity, respect, connection to cultures and ancestors. Here's your challenge. Pick up one fear, spend 15 minutes learning about it. Not to conquer it overnight, but to start the conversation with your brain. Use the self-directed learning steps. What do I need to know? Where can I learn it? What's my strategy? And then go on and do the work. After doing the work, check it. Did something shift? Pair it with exposure. Every tiny dose. A spider photo, a flight safety video, a 30-second snake clip, perhaps? Fear thrives in ignorance. Knowledge thrives in it. And sometimes knowledge becomes fascination. You never know where facing your fear will take you. But I promise, it's worth a journey. Phobias don't own you. Your inclination to learn does. And maybe, just maybe, your ancestors are cheering you on. Thank you.